My name is Anthony, and in the next 7 minutes, I will present our research on test method names. In this study, we use grammar patterns, also known as part-of-speech tags, to investigate the naming practices of method names in test suites. Identifier names are essential to program comprehension, as they communicate the behavior of the code to the developer. The test method name conveys the entity under test and the actions performed on the entity. In terms of applicability, names can be used to auto-generate code for the methods. And finally, prior studies on method names do not differentiate between test and production methods. Therefore, this study aims to understand the evolution of the structure and meaning of test method names and their relation to the source code. With regards to applicability, we envision our findings utilized in tools to aid in test name recommendation and appraisal. To this extent, we formulate 3 research questions. The first R-Cube looks at the types of grammar patterns occurring in test suites. In this R-Cube, we compare our findings against an existing catalog of test method name patterns and production method names. R-Cube 2 investigates the relationship between grammar patterns and changes to the semantic meaning of the method name. Finally, in R-Cube 3, we look at the terms in a method name. Contributions from this study include a dataset of manually annotated grammar patterns, a set of newly identified grammar patterns, and a discussion on the evolution of test method names. Before discussing our findings, let me first give a walkthrough of our methodology. For this study, we analyzed test method names of Java systems that had undergone a rename refactoring. We used refactoring miner to mine the refactoring operations. As part of our RQ analysis, we manually annotated a statistically significant set of test method names, 615 method names to be specific. The annotation process involved associating each term in a method's name with a part-of-speech tag. Please read our paper for more details around the methodology. Now, let's look at our findings. RQ1 examines the part-of-speech tags associated with old and new names to identify grammar patterns that are specific to test methods. We looked at both the complete grammar pattern and prefix patterns. While we confirmed patterns identified in a prior study, we also detected additional grammar patterns specific to test method names. These new patterns include use of prepositions, noun followed by a verb modifiers, and determiners. While verb modifiers and determiners are not strictly patterns, we include them since they have not been discussed in prior literature and they appear in many patterns. We also observed relationships between specific terms and the source code. For instance, the determiner all is usually associated with a collection data type, while the verb modifier not is usually associated with a null check. Finally, the grammar patterns we identify for test methods do not frequently occur in production method names. We also observed that renames do not typically change the part of speech of the replaced term. RQ2 looks at the semantic changes a test name undergoes when renamed. Unlike prior research showing that identifier names tend to narrow in meaning, our findings show that test method names are more prone to a change in meaning. Furthermore, renames that preserve a name's meaning are mostly associated with developers either adding or removing digits or underscores to the method's name. In the final R-cube, we examine the terms that change in a test method's name when renamed. Our observations show that it is common for test methods to swap digits in their name. Such actions preserve the overall meaning of the name. These types of identifiers are usually associated with auto-generated code. There were also instances of change in behavior. For example, all of to at least. In these instances, the code changes from single instance data types to collections. We also observed that the term test is replaced with a term associated with a Boolean return type. For example, can, is, or should. In conclusion, this study investigated the evolution of grammar patterns in test method names. And as part of this work, we manually annotated a set of test method names. Our work identified differences in structure between test and production method names. We also confirmed grammar patterns identified in prior work, in addition to detecting new grammar patterns for test method names. In terms of semantics, our findings show that renames to test methods tend to change the name's meaning. And finally, studying terms in the name of the method identified common words and phrases. The results from our work help confirm the need for test-specific naming support and provide several recommendations in terms of what kind of support that is readily available. While further research into this area is required, our work is a strong starting point. If you want to contribute to the naming catalog or if you want to learn more about what we do, visit our website at scanl.org. Thank you.
Hi. So, any questions for the using grammar patterns to interpret test method name evolution? So I kicked one question. Do renaming happen together with the changes of the method body, or have you used all the changes, including the rename refactorings, or you filtered out only the changes, only include the renamings?
So for this study, we just looked at only the renames for the method names. We didn't focus on the changes within the body because our goal for this study was to look at how the part-of-speech tags evolve. So going forward, we'll start looking at what are the other artifacts or what are the other code statements that change. But we did look at certain elements in the code that have a relationship with the part-of-speech tags, such as determiners and prepositions and so on. Yeah.
Good. Any questions? Do you think the obtained symptom will happen in other types of the language rather than Java?
It most likely will be similar because right now our current study is we're looking at C# as well right now. So hopefully it should be the same because it's an object-oriented language. But again, we're still looking into it. And before I sign off, I just want to mention that the grammar pattern catalog that we spoke about that we mentioned in our study is available online, and we are maintaining it, and we encourage the community to review this artifact and also provide us with feedback on how to better improve it. And we hope that educators can look at using it in classes to teach students about how to name identifiers based on the structure of the name. That's one goal we're looking at. And
not only the test name but also all the names.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a great work. Yeah. Any other questions? 30 seconds left. No. Okay, so time's only 10 seconds left. So let's conclude the Q&A. If you have any further questions, you can post them. Anthony will answer in chat.